You think everyone is watching your awkward moment. Think again. It's a powerful, universal feeling, right? That sinking feeling when you trip in public, or when you realize you just said something completely nonsensical in a meeting. You look up, you scan the faces, and you feel it, the collective, undeniable weight of scrutiny. It feels like every single person in that room has paused their conversation, their thoughts, everything, just to observe your little fumble. This intense feeling, this certainty that your momentary lapse has been etched into the collective memory of everyone present, is incredibly common. It's so common that psychologists have given it a name, the spotlight effect. But what is it, really? At its core, the spotlight effect is our tendency to overestimate the extent to which other people are noticing or paying attention to our appearance, behavior, and actions. It suggests that we operate under the assumption that we are the main character in the room, and every detail about us, the stain on our shirt, the stutter in our speech, the fact that we forgot someone's name, is under a brilliant, focused beam of external attention. We feel like we are under a literal spotlight. And while the sensation is undeniably real, the feeling of being watched is potent. The reality is far more diffused, far less intense, and frankly, much more forgiving. This overestimation isn't just a minor exaggeration. It's a deep-seated mechanism in our brains that helps us navigate social environments, but it frequently leads us to misjudge the actual social landscape. We build an internal model of how others perceive us, and that model is notoriously skewed towards hypervisibility. We treat our minor mistakes as if they are headline news for everyone else. Now, let's pivot from the spotlight effect to the actual, more nuanced concept we need to consider: generalized overestimation of visibility. The spotlight effect is a catchy term, but the underlying cognitive issue is a broader tendency to believe we are more noticeable than we actually are. It's a generalized overestimation of our own salience. We assume our actions carry disproportionate weight in the minds of others. We think that because we are intensely self-aware of our own awkwardness, others must be experiencing the exact same level of intense, focused observation. But that's where the gap between feeling and fact widens. Consider the actual mechanics of attention. Human attention is a finite resource. Our brains are remarkably efficient at filtering out the mundane. When you walk into a busy coffee shop, you are not the main attraction. The barista is thinking about the next order. The person reading the newspaper is thinking about the article. The couple across the room is thinking about dinner reservations. Their cognitive bandwidth is occupied by their own immediate concerns, their own internal narratives, and the people they care about. Your brief stumble, while mortifying to you in the moment, is processed by them as a momentary environmental blip. And this is the crucial part, it slides right back into the background noise of their consciousness. To really grasp this, let's look at a counterexample, a scenario that often proves the myth of the inescapable spotlight. Imagine you are at a large, bustling gathering, a networking mixer, perhaps, or a friend's large birthday party. You feel compelled to tell a slightly long, slightly rambling story about a past adventure. As you speak, you watch the faces, waiting for the subtle signs of boredom, the quick glances toward the exit, the micro-expressions that confirm your perceived failure. You are hyper-focused on gathering evidence that you are failing to hold attention. But what are people actually doing? They are nodding occasionally because they are polite, not because they are intensely analyzing your word choice. Half of them are making eye contact because they are trying to remember what they were supposed to say next. Another quarter are engaged in parallel processing. They are listening to you, yes, but they are also monitoring their own drink levels, checking the time, or formulating a polite question they plan to ask you in the next 5 minutes. Their attention is not a singular, powerful beam directed solely at your mouth. It is scattered, multitasking, and highly selective. Research, particularly observational studies in public spaces, suggests that people are remarkably self-absorbed in their own lives. They are more concerned with how they appear in the social context than they are with how intensely you appear in that context. They are running their own internal simulations of how they are coming across, how they are managing their conversation, or how they are appearing to the person next to them. This is a deeply ingrained survival mechanism. We are wired to monitor our own social standing above all else. So, the next time you feel that prickling sensation, that absolute conviction that your mistake, your slightly off-key laugh, or the way you tripped over the rug has been cataloged, analyzed, and will be referenced in conversation for weeks, to come take a breath. Reframe the experience. You are not the center of this room's universe. You are one variable in a complex, messy, and overwhelmingly self-involved ecosystem of human consciousness. The spotlight, my friends, is usually aimed at you, yes, but it rarely shines that brightly, and it certainly never stays fixed on you for very long. Understanding this subtle cognitive dissonance is the first step toward greater social confidence and a much clearer understanding of how and why people actually pay attention.